Okay, the
Yeah.
so the line of code you had before, that had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, is what we are referencing, right? We are
For I,
indexing.
you talking about this thing?
No, the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, blah blah blah. Yeah,
Like
yeah,
this one?
yeah. But
Okay.
before then, you had a. I don't think it was a list. I think it was a set.
You talking about this
Yeah,
thing? Yeah.
no, the
So
law.
yeah, this is a dictionary actually, but I first wanted
Okay,
to start with the
yeah, that
Python
one.
list.
Yes, yeah,
So yeah,
list. Yes.
this is a Python list. I can add a comment. Python list, and here what we were doing, we were just taking the value from index 2. This is 0 1
Yeah,
2, and taking square of that, which is like square root of 3 is 9. That's what we are
yeah,
doing here. But
yeah.
original list is like same like that, nothing kind of really changed from that.
Okay.
And what we are doing here, we are kind of using for loop on this list, like as you could see num.
Mm,
And so this list makes us iterate through each item, and it also kind of gives access to current item, which is like this I right here. Maybe I should change this to k, because in print and couple of things we have the same. So when I no it's good. Yeah, this k stores the current item, which through which the loop is cycling through or something, like iterating through. I don't know, like, can you ask again? What was your question?
okay, so this K now, and I know it doesn't have to be a K, but
Huh.
right now we've named it K.
Huh.
What is, I'm trying to see how to ask this question right.
Yeah, yeah, be easy.
Um, when we say K in num, I know num is that list, okay?
Huh, huh,
What are we trying to reference? Any number in the list or what?
Okay. Let's take help of this paint tool. I know it's kind of useless, but sometimes it's really good.
Mm,
Okay. And how to add text? Mm, maybe here we have one, and then we have two, we have three, and we have four, and we have five, and we have six. And okay, we are good too. And when I say uh, for apply for loop, and after that when I say, how can I say that? Oh goodness, I need to enter how to exit. Okay, yeah. And when I say this, do for loop on this list, this is basically a list. And yeah, that's it. So when I now let's again write the syntax for I. Let's make it a bit, maybe more, 28. Okay, yeah, for I in num, as you
list,
know.
yeah, yeah.
it, and then we are like, maybe we need to print that thing, print I, and something like this. Okay, that's what we want to do.
Yeah.
So now your question was like, what this I or anything present here really means, or what's the
Yeah,
purpose of
what's
that
it
thing.
referencing? Yeah, what's
Yeah. Okay, so this for loop will be like, Python will see, oh, there is a for statement. It will be like, okay, so now in which thing do we need to apply this for? And it's like, okay, this is the thing in which you need to apply. And then Python will go like above and try to find where this num is, and it will try to figure what this really is. In our case, we have it as a kind of list which has
yeah,
that kind of number. So it will, it will just enter this thing. At this point it will enter, and it will pick up this first element or value from that list. And as soon as it will kind of pick that stuff, it will do something like this. It will start entering, or like make it enter from here, and it will kind of store it like right above this thing, just to illustrate. And it will be like, okay, I now you are this, you are one. Okay, am I clear till now?
yeah.
Okay, So as it is done, like it will be like this. After this, it will be like, okay, now your next step is to enter the body of this for loop, and as soon as it will enter the body of for loop, it will be like, okay, now we need to print I, and what really I is this thing, you know. It's clear.
Yeah, so
Okay,
far.
for this it's clear. Okay, now what will happen as soon as Python will do this? Python will be like, okay, go next, and at the end we don't have anything. So Python will be like, okay, we don't have any new code. Just again go to this kind of in the background. Python knows what is the length of this list, so it actually knows when to get out of this for loop. So in this case, Python sees that, oh, we have more items, and Python will be like, oh, okay, this for loop will be like, okay, now go to the next thing, and yeah, this is the next thing, and Python will be like, pick it up, and Python will kind of pick it, make it enter through something like this, and now it will be like, okay, I now your responsibility is to store this value in u, and then it will allow uh, to execute the next statement, and now I would be 2. So that's what's happening. It will again, when it will finish, it will be like, Python will be like, oh, the length of the list is not yet finished, so it will again go up, bring this, store in I, again go there, bring this 4, store in I, again go up like 5, and as soon as it will go to like this 6, it will do this, and then it will execute all the code which is present here. After the code is ended, it will say that, okay, now come up here, and just stop this for loop, and now you can just continue to the normal kind of code which is present, like without loop. And what I really mean is, like, after for loop, maybe we are doing like addition of 9 plus 9, and we are doing 0 plus 0, I don't know, 0 plus 9, something like this. Like, Python will iterate, and as soon as the values in this list will get finished, Python will be like, okay, we are done with this, now we need to move to the next statement. This line is empty, it will ignore it, it will do this calculation, then move to next line, do this calculation. Like, I hope it's clear. Like, if you still have
Yeah,
an,
it's clear. So let me say it in my own words. When you say for I in the list, let's say the list is called num, I will, Python will go to the list and store each element in the
the current
list.
element, yeah, the current element in the sequence, it will scan the
Yeah.
the list or anything in sequence, and the current element would be stored in this I, or whatever is present right here.
And it will output it and then go to the next one, output it,
Yeah,
go to
in
the
this
next one,
case, yeah,
output it.
we are doing
So it's doing
output.
that in a loop.
Yeah, it's a loop, and
Yeah.
this loop will work until the values of the list will get ended.
Okay.
I is
Makes
nothing
sense.
but a
Yeah.
temporary variable in which the current value can be stored. Current value of what? Anything through which we are looping through. In our case, we have a list named as num.
Okay. Makes sense now. I understand now.
Okay, cool. But if we are like, what if we do the same process with while loop? Yeah, it's possible, but in that case, we need to give certain conditions, or like write more logic, because at that time we also need to tell while loop when to stop. And now we are like, while
I see.
let's suppose,
While num is less than 6 or something. So you are telling it to
yeah, yeah,
stop
yeah.
at
So
6.
for yeah, yeah, you got it, you got it. So
Yeah.
we're like
Then
current.
excluding 6, right?
Sorry, go again.
That would, if I say while num is less than 6, 6 is not, number 6 is not included in the loop. It will, or would it include 6 itself?
Maybe you are right. You're right, but if I write this exact thing, it does not really make sense, because num is a list, and if I applied like num is less than 6, what will I get? I will
No,
get maybe an error, because it like this.
you're
But
writing greater than, it should be less than.
yeah, okay. Sorry.
Yeah.
If I do, I still will get a error because this is a list and this is a number, and we can't compare two kind of data types. Yeah, we can compare something like this, but we can compare like a different data type. Num is, if I check the type of this, it will be a list, and the type of six is a number, integer.
So I'm
Okay.
talking about using the while loop. I'm saying continue to loop while num is less than six. But when it gets to six, stop the loop. Maybe I'm just going to um, maybe I'm just being too forward, but let me get what you are trying to explain by while loop.
Hmm. So So, so you mean like what do you mean by this num? Do you
Num
mean
is
that
a variable, right?
num is this list?
Okay, it's a list. Yeah.
Hmm.
It's the name of the list.
Yeah, it's the name of the list. And
Yeah.
if we are if we write num, Python will know that oh it's not num, it's actually a list. To Python it's this thing. Python will say okay, this thing.
Okay. Okay. I was still on loop, I guess. That's why. I was still thinking in terms of the
For loop or something?
yeah for loop. But no worries. Keep going. I everything you've explained so far, I understand. So
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. No, it's good. Like if you try
yeah.
to think up with the logic, like it's really good because if you will think of a logic and that gets wrong, you would like in your memory or mind, you would somewhere like remember that oh, it's not like this, it's like that. So yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
it's a good thing to like come up with try to come up with a logic. But in this for loop, Python was this for keyword was really handling when to stop looping through the list. It kind of calculates behind in the background when is this list ending, or it is making conditions based upon this thing. So but if we use a while loop, we can do the job with while loop, but here you will really see what we need to care for. First we need a variable where we could store the current count. We are like current iteration is equals to 0. We are on maybe we have looped 0 times. We can say like this, okay? Looped how many times? 0 times. Current iter means like number of loop. We can number of loop. Now it's I guess more clean. Number of loop, and then we are like length alien okay, length of list. And what is that? We can calculate the length by len and num. You will say it will give us the length. So I'll just copy this thing and paste here. So in this library we are having how many number of time we have looped through. This will help us keep the record like on which loop we are, and this will kind of this is basically the length of the list. So we can compare, if the loop has reached the length of the list or anything, then we can stop this thing. Like I guess you're with me, right? What
Yeah,
I
yeah,
really
yeah.
want to do. Yeah, okay. And we are like while number of loop is less than, or it can also be equal to length of list. What I really mean is it can be what I really mean here. It can be 5. 5 less than 6, it will return me true. But if I enter 5 less than equal something like this time I'm saying okay, the number can be less than or it can also be equal to 6. So if it's 6, it will also work. So in our case it will also work because we are having 6 numbers, and that's good to do. So we got our condition here, if it's like 7, it will get false and our loop will stop. Like till now, like I like is this kind of condition clear?
Yes. I'm thinking through it. So by number of loop, you mean
The current
um the
um
current value or
no,
the
not the
current
current value.
the current
It's
I'm thinking the current
current loop number, or how many time have we looped
Okay.
till now, something like that.
Okay.
You
And
got it?
then,
Okay.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
the length of the list is the length of the yeah, is is the length of the list, kind of. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then while number of loop is less than the length of the list, which is 6.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. Length of the list is 6.
yeah,
As I told you here. It's
yeah.
6. And initially our number of loop will be 0. So if I enter 0 here, and oh my god, if I apply this logic, it will return me true. Like this thing, like rest of the thing is same. Like in this, length of the list is already 6. So yeah, it's 6. And we have these two signs, these are present here. And number of loop, it is 0. So it's 0. Like if I literally kind of hard code it, it would be something like this. It will return me true. Like, is it clear?
Yeah, yeah, so far, yeah.
Okay, okay, okay. That's good. So we are doing this, and now what we can do is I can be like, okay, I can make like I, same thing, I is equals to go to this number list and give me the value on index number of loop. Initially it would be 0, so it will give me this thing 1. Let's we should not try that unless we complete this thing, because this will get into kind of infinity thing. So like, did you really, oh, we can do something like this. We can pass this thing, and inside this thing we can pass maybe 0, because initially this number of loop would be 0, and this would be returning something like this, and then we will be printing something like this. But after doing this, what we want is, I
So,
want to,
sorry, would I be right to say when we use the phrase number of loop, we are indexing a, we're indexing, we're indexing a particular number in the loop, in the list,
yeah, we are accessing or getting
accessing.
a
Okay,
particular value in the list present
okay,
on this index, index 0, and on index
yeah,
0 we have 1.
one, yeah, we're
Okay,
accessing. Okay,
clear?
that's a better way to say it, yeah.
So this thing, this part is clear. This thing.
Yeah, yeah, it is.
Okay, and after that we are storing that in I and then printing it. Okay.
Okay,
Okay. So
okay.
we are done with that. Now what we need to do is we need to update this num of loop, like this variable. We need to make an increment of 1 in this. So this can also be, we can get a new evaluation like right here, and later on we can also get the next index, next item in the list by updating this. So what, okay, let me do that. Maybe after doing this you will kind of understand this. Num of loop plus is equals to 1. We did an increment of 1. Like,
Mm.
just take this thing. Like, is this thing clear what it really does? It's just doing,
Yeah,
it's just adding 1 in this thing.
adding it, just increasing it by one, right?
Yeah. So annotate spotlight, and if I can do this, yeah. So yeah, this thing would get updated. Initially it was 0, but when it's like it enters this, in it will be like 0 here, it will be 6, and it will be 0 here. It will get the first atom, which would be 1, and then we are updating this. Initially it will be 0, 0 plus 1, it would be like 1. So 1 will automatically, this thing will get updated to 1. And as we will again loop, this while loop will, it ran the first time up till here, and after that it was like, oh, it's finished. It will again go up here, and this time this value would be updated just because of like this statement. Now this would be 1, and it will compare that whether it's smaller than or equal to 6. That's like true. It will be like true. It will be like, okay, get inside this block and execute this piece of code. So it will go in num, and this time it will get the value on index 1.
Mm.
Like, did you got this? We updated this to 1, and it changed to 1, and while entering here it was written 1, and here it was like already 6. Like here it got like up to 1, updated up to 1.
Yeah.
Okay, let's
Yeah.
try to run this, and like you will see this. So what we index out of range, so maybe we need to put this condition right up there to make it good. Okay, now if I run this, it's still out of range. Okay. Oh, indexing actually starts from 0, so maybe we don't need this line. If I do this now, we should not, we are again index list out of range. 6666, it's 000 updating, we're getting 6, and it gets updated to that stuff. It should be smaller than this. What's the length? Length is 6, but we have item till that stuff, so maybe we need to put -1 right here. Now it should work, right? Yeah, now we are getting things. Like, why did I added -1? Because this length list, it returns us the exact length, like how many items do we have. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. But the indexing starts from like 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So
Mm.
we need to do -1 in order to match that indexing kind of thing. So now this time our length of list is kind of 5 in the background, and it's doing good. Let me kind of do something like here, like print this is num of loop, and what this really is, we are entering num of loop, and right here maybe I can write this I is something like this. And if I run this, you will see here, like, see, num of loop initially was 0 when, okay, let me open that thing, spotlight. Okay, so initially this thing, it was like, as you can see here, it was 0. And what was I was 2, really. Oh, let me close this, scroll this up to, I should not be 2, it should be 1. Oh my goodness, like, what's this happening? Oh, we are updating it right here. Just a second. Maybe we need to enter this at the last, and now it should be good. Yeah, now it's good. So as you can see, num of loop was 0, and I was 1, like in the first kind of loop. And in the next loop, I got updated to 1, and we got the value which was present on index 1. And next thing, it was again getting updated, and we were getting the value present on index 2. Like, is it clear? Is this clear?
Yeah,
Like, we're
I am trying to,
digest this thing.
yeah, because first I'm not quite sure why you had to index -1. I know -1 is the last number on the list.
No, 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 certainly not. If I do num and inside square brackets I add -1, then that's really true what you're saying. I get the last element, which is already 6, as we know. Yeah, 6 here.
Yeah.
But right there, what I'm doing this code is written right there, right? This code is right
Mm.
here. Length num. It's returning me a number which is like the length of the list. And what I'm doing, I'm like, okay, take that length and do -1
Can do
of
some
that thing.
arithmetic. Yeah.
So we get 5. Why I did that? Because we need to get the values based upon the index of the list, and the index of first is 0 and the last one is 5. So that's the reason I did this, because we are using this length of list, and we are not using this, we are using this number of list, and we are kind of really extracting or getting the current value based upon this thing, and we are comparing with this thing. We're just doing -1, in order to just match the indexing pattern, which starts from 0. We are not starting from 1. That's why I did -1. It,
Okay.
to make it just clear, yeah, if we count it, it would be 6, but as index start from 0, so we need to do -1, so we can start from 0 and then go up till like 5 or something.
Okay.
Like indexing is something, it's like this: length, leng, length -1. Or the index would always be like this, the last any or something like this. We get, this is the formula to get the index, like length -1. That's what I really did here.
Okay. I think I understand what you just said.
Okay, so any kind of further cuties in this kind of
And
part?